This is Ready, Set, Reiki, a podcast about Reiki and all energy work. From the curious beginner to the seasoned master teacher, welcoming all systems, all lineages, all levels. Reiki is a journey and not a destination. And on this Ready, Set, Reiki journey, I refer to myself as a guide rather than host, as I too am traveling, learning, and supporting others on this journey as well. And with that said, I am your guide, Tracy C. Wright, and this is Ready, Set, Reiki. Hello, everyone. Reiki blessings to the Reiki family here. Another wonderful and magical journey we will be doing today. So I first wanted just to remind you of a wonderful resource, Reiki Business Collective. Now, this is about sharing, supporting, and serving. Wherever you are on your journey, if you're the curious beginner to the master, PhD, scholar, wherever you are, this is a great place to connect in Reiki business community. Know that you are never alone. Don't feel that you are on a Reiki island. There are lots of wonderful groups out there, lots of people who are going to cheer you on and support you, myself and also my guest included. She is also a great cheerleader, supporter of all. And, this is what I get asked a lot. Like, why do you do a podcast? If you're not making tons of money on it, and it's for connections and networking. So pretty early on in my podcast journey, I connected with our next guest, and I consider her a lifelong friend. So let me tell you about my buddy, Rose. Now, she is an award-winning podcaster of Chat Off the Mat, author, Reiki master, mentor, and energy alchemist. She is the author of Empress Rising, Own Your Energy, Trust Your Wisdom, and Rewrite the Rules of Aging. Now, she helps women reframe aging as an expansion rather than diminishing, and guiding them to stop into what is she calling her Empress years with confidence and moving forward into just transformational growth. So let's give a Ready, Set, Reiki welcome to Rose.
Hey, oh my gosh, this is awesome. I feel like I'm in your living room. I'm in your Reiki living room. I love it.
Right. I love it. It's so wonderful. And then you just meet people in this journey that you just click with. So we're buddies. We
Yes.
do pod swaps. We support each other. We cheer each other on. Got the book. Got it here.
Thank you.
Everyone, a little bit about you, but I know there is so much more. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, you said a lot, and I appreciate all the things. And someone else says all the things that I do. I'm like, oh wow, I really do a lot, because I start to question, like, am I doing enough? So that tells you right off the bat, like, I just love to do this work. So yes, I live in New Jersey. I've been doing the podcast for several years. Recently published my book. I have identical twin boys. They're in college, and a great husband. And I just love being on this platform, helping people out, meeting people like Tracy. And I don't know, this is just the best journey. I'm in my happiest years ever. And I love what I do.
Beautiful. So Ready, Set, Reiki. We're here for a Reiki journey. So tell us about Reiki. When did Reiki come into your life? Did you find Reiki or did it find you?
Well, I think a little bit of both. So I found Reiki, let's say about 30 years ago. It seems like forever, right? It's like half my life. When I was going through a really hard time, and my yoga teacher at the time mentioned Reiki, and I was like, Reiki, what is this Reiki stuff? My ears went up. I'm like, sounds really cool. So we talked about it, and I was going through a really hard time, really bad relationship breakup, was on a healing journey. And I said, I'm going to try this Reiki stuff out. I had no idea what to expect. Came to my dad's house where I was living, because I was living there for a while. Came with his little Reiki bed, and I lay down on it, the table. And he's like, okay, I'm just relax. You're not going to feel anything. Maybe some heat, maybe some electricity. Just go for it. I'm like, I'm chill. I will, whatever I need to feel, whatever is right, I'm good. So that was my first experience. But the cool part and the cool story is that during that time, my mother had been passed already about 10 years. And as I was laying there in this very semi-conscious state, I saw a vision of her come to me from heaven. And I say heaven because that's where I think she came down from. Opened her hands and showed me 2 baby bottles. And from that point on, I knew I was going to have twins. I knew it. and I wasn't even dating my husband. I met him like 10 years later. So I was like, wow, I said, that's pretty wild. And it was just my first amazing experience with the Reiki. And then, I didn't have sessions after that, but I knew always about Reiki. And then I had my kids and they wound up having this genetic thing that they were born with that made them lumpy, kind of like the Elephant Man, if you've seen the Elephant Man movie. Um, and they were diagnosed with that. And my one son had a tumor on his optic nerve, which fortunately has not ever turned into cancer, thank God. So I said, "What am I gonna do?" I said, "Well, I knew a friend of mine had Reiki, was a Reiki master, because we had talked about it." I called her up. I said, "Listen, I really need your help. I need you to make me a Reiki practitioner. I need to do this. It's the only thing I could do was like out of my hands. Like, how can I help my kids?" So it was like a kitchen drive-by Reiki attunement. She sat me down. She pulled her notes out from like way back in the day, all scribbled on it. She told me about, Master Usui and what this is. And she gave me a quick Reiki attunement. And that just did it for me. And I was doing Reiki on my kids from that point on. And then I had formal training after that. But yeah, so I did it for my kids. Reiki found me and I found Reiki. How's that? All in one thing.
Oh, isn't that amazing? It always
Yeah.
takes that one catalyst for change, right?
Yeah,
To spark it and saying, wow. And who would have ever imagined in that moment that you're doing what you're doing today,
I know. I know, what a journey, right? And
right?
I did it for me and my kids, really, for my children, for my family, for me, because when I was diagnosed with breast cancer several years after that, I already had the tool, right? So I was able to use it on myself. So, and I'm getting these like massive tingles as I'm talking to you about this because it was like, okay, Reiki's like saying to me, yeah, I was there for you, your family. And yeah, it's amazing how Reiki just has been such a huge force and friend in my life.
Yeah.
Amazing.
If you let it flow, it will change the whole direction of your life.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god, yeah. It
Never
and c co and always, it's always there guiding you. I feel that strongly, it guides you. It's like
absolutely.
your best friend.
Well, you've been at this for several years. Well, let's say several lifetimes, right?
Yes, absolutely, for sure.
So, what are some things that you have found that people have said to you or you've heard that are misconceptions about Reiki or really energy work?
Well, um, misconceptions, a lot of people really don't they're curious but skeptical, I think, if I could take it from that angle, because I started practicing this and learning about this when it was really woo-woo, like, I was even afraid to tell anybody about it.
Yeah.
Right? You're like, "Okay, well, I can't really tell anybody because they're gonna think I'm crazy, but I know that this is, like, something I have to do and have to have in my life." So you find the people who you can be comfortable around that also are Reiki practitioners, but slowly and surely, when you start to live the Reiki path and the Reiki life, um, it's easier to talk about it. It's more I know what Reiki is now, it flows out of my mouth. I don't have to memorize an elevator pitch or anything like that. Um, and people are now more accepting and they're curious and I'm not afraid to tell them about it. I don't hide from talking about it or who I am as a Reiki practitioner and mentor. So I love educating people. It's my thing now. I'm like, okay, you don't know about Reiki? Let me tell you about Reiki, you know? And I think you're the same way because this is why you're here.
Yeah.
So that we can share the beautiful practice that it is.
Right. And just to shine a light on it, you probably, in your experience, as you start looking back, you know, people would say something like, "Are you a witch?" Because, like, say, like, you brought somebody a cup of coffee and they're like, "How did you know? Like, I wanted coffee." Or you have these kind of synchronicities and coincidences, but it was like, how did you know all that? And even like opening up about this, you didn't want somebody to think, "Oh, you're a witch and you're doing all these things." So it was
Yeah.
often to keep it quiet, right?
Yeah.
But now that it's mainstream, it's out there, and like my kids are like, "Oh yeah, somebody on TikTok does that. We know all about that."
Right, my mom does that. It's funny you say that, but our kids have grown up with this and they're used to it, right?
Yeah.
Which is great, but growing up in an environment and as a child, I always knew that I was a little witchy. I was very intuitive as
Mhm.
a very young child, but
Yeah.
I couldn't express it. I didn't have any, anybody to talk to about it,
Yeah.
to see if there was anybody in my family who was also like that. And but I embrace it now, right? As we get older and as we get more comfortable with the tools that we have, we embrace it and find other people who are like us. It's great.
Right. I was talking to somebody and she's like, well, if you were younger and you had the little cootie catcher,
Yes.
and you had the 8 ball,
I was
more
thinking
than
about that.
likely growing up to do the card.
Yes. I was thinking about that 8 ball the other day. It's so funny.
Shake that magic 8 ball. It's like, oh,
Yes.
well, your book has come out. It has a lot of wonderful tools in there to help inspire, to help us rewrite our rules of aging. And, you've collected all that from all the experience and the wisdom that you have gained. You're out here helping others and supporting. When you stand back today and look back at your life, what has been the biggest challenge or struggle you faced in your healing journey?
The biggest challenge and struggle in my healing journey is to repair the relationship with my mom. Unfortunately, she passed away when I was 26 years old. She was 49. And I was not able to do that in person because, well, she was ill for a long time. She also wasn't the type of person that communicated or shared love or embraced any of that, anything that I was doing as well. Um, so that was the biggest challenge for me. And I've been able to use Reiki and other tools like mediumship, just connecting with her spirit. I mean, she came to me in a Reiki session and showed me 2 baby bottles. I mean, she's like, "Here, I'm here. I'm showing you this." So that was the biggest message that I received from her and connection from her. And I started to really repair my relationship with her while she's in spirit. Um, and it's been good now. You know, so that's been a big thing for me. And writing in the book, I write about her briefly. I don't really go into a lot of detail because people don't really want to know about my story. But I had to put it in there because I'm sure there are a lot of people out there, a lot of women. Maybe they've had relationships growing up with their own parents, maybe siblings, maybe friends that were challenging, and they had to learn how to navigate through those and hopefully learn how to repair. And if they're not here and they're in spirit, they can still do that, you know. So yeah, so that was a challenge for me,
Yeah.
but it's good.
But look, you took that challenge and look what you're doing now. You are loving, caring, supportive, and you're
And
sharing this,
helping other women.
yeah, and
Yeah,
empowering them. So
yeah.
well done for that. Well
Thank
done.
you.
So when it is time for you to get an energetic tune up, what are some qualities that you look for in a Reiki practitioner?
Well, I always tell people that a Reiki practitioner needs to resonate with you. You need to feel that you're comfortable in them, right? Because they have their energy. I mean, they're channeling the Reiki energy, but they're creating the sacred space for you, and you have to feel comfortable in that sacred space. So anybody that's looking for a Reiki practitioner, you know, you'll know in your heart, in your body, if they feel right for you, that they know the principles, they live the life of Reiki, they allow Reiki to heal or to guide them, excuse me. So those are just some really basic things. And you get it. You understand, like me meeting you, like I know you're the real deal, right? Just because we're a lot alike. And you feel it. So when someone resonates that energy and you feel it in your energy that it's right, that's when you know.
Yeah. I mean, like within minutes, it's like I knew, like,
Yeah.
this is my girl.
Yeah, exactly. It's
I
great.
mean, I'll have some guests come on, and it happened a couple days ago. It's like, boom. She's like, oh my gosh, like it was this communication back and forth forever. And then it was just clicking. And
Yes.
she also had a challenging, which she shared about on the show, a challenging relationship with her mother, which, yeah, I got
Wow.
it. I understood. I see you. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
So, author, podcaster, amazing and wonderful things. You've written articles for magazines. You were
Yeah, Reiki magazine. Just like you.
and What advice would you give somebody who's listening to this? I'm like, yeah, I am so empowered. Like, what pearls of wisdom could you give them if they're like, I want a podcast, I'm going to write a book, right? I'm going to do all these things that you are doing. You are a trailblazer, and I'm going to follow right behind.
Well, do what I did. You first of all, you think about um I meditate on it a lot. I ask Reiki a lot to guide me. And I learned a lot of that from William Rand, sitting and having lunch with him at Omega. And he just says, you know what, Rose? When you have questions about things or where you want to go and your focus, he goes, just put your hands in Gasho and ask Reiki to guide you. And I do that. Right. So I love to do a lot of things just like you. You have your hands and everything, but there's days when it's just too much. So I ask to have a focus. So someone that's out there that wants to reinvent themselves and try new things, find one thing that you're really passionate about or you want to try that and see how it goes. And know that it's a journey. It's not going to happen overnight. It takes time, it takes energy, right? But there's resources like us, like, Tracy and myself out there. There's a lot of resources out there that can guide you in anything, whether it's podcast or writing a book. But I recommend that you take time to go within first and decide what you want to focus on. That's the hard part. To just jump on something, figure out what lights you up, because that's what they say. Figure out your why, but I like to say what lights you up, and follow that light.
And know to have the courage too, if you start something and if it doesn't feel right, you can pivot. You can
absolutely.
Both you and I had like rebranding. We were in it for a couple years and we're like, you know what? Something's changed. And
absolutely.
And you wonder like, what are people going to say? But wait a minute, like, you know what? It's okay. Go forward in the direction that you're meant to go in.
Yeah. And really important what you just said. You worry about what other people say, but who are they? It's your life. It's your brand. It's your project. So you do what feels right for you. Somebody's going to say something, so I stopped worrying about that. Wasn't long ago that I stopped, because I used to worry about what everyone else had to say. And now I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do my thing. If they're going to say something, that's cool. I don't like to judge, and I want to do what feels right for me. So yeah, rebranding. I'll be rebranding again. New cover art for my podcast is coming out, because I'm like, well, I got tired of the old one. Yeah. So yeah, so we're constantly changing, and like, there's I forgot if it was Lao Tzu or said that change is impermanent. So there's constant change. Right? Life changes, things change, and you have to kind of go with it. You can't.
And it's okay. Like stuck. I had gotten a space and I was at it for a few months, and then the energy just shifted and changed around it, and parking became an issue. And I'm like, this isn't working. And then I wondered, I think people are going to think I'm failing or ran out of money, which was not true at all. But it's like, you know what? I had to do what felt right, and it didn't feel right. I felt like I wasn't growing in that space. And then you move on to the next one, and the people followed. They came, and new people came. So trust in the process.
Yeah. And remind yourself. That was great. I love that example. And I remember you going through that. And I think it's great because, sometimes, and I think you're also spiritually guided when that happens, because you're getting those feelings like, wait a minute, something's not right here. Right. So spirit is saying, okay, you need to pivot. So do this. And that other thing that they guide you towards, maybe it's a life's lesson, or maybe it's whatever it is, but that's what you're supposed to do. And
right. And when I was reading your book, you had a nice offering in there that you learned from your teacher about, imagining the traffic lights.
Yes. Oh my God. Can I talk about that real quick?
Of course.
Oh, this is the best. This is the coolest little exercise. I think I learned that from Lisa Williams, who's pretty renowned as a psychic medium. So she said, if you ever have a question that you want an answer to, imagine a traffic light. So you close your eyes, do it while you're not driving, and ask yourself a question. And then whatever light pops up, whether it's green means go, yellow means maybe not now, red is like no. So use that really, really quick tool. I just love that tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of great material in here, or words of wisdom, to help guide you through it. So, well, on to our next question. So what books do you recommend?
Well, besides mine, I do recommend mine, and thank you. And to start because, I channeled that book, started channeling that book, and I knew that it was an important message that I had to share. And I wanted to rebrand the way women are labeled. I don't say label. Maybe that's not the right word, but that's the word I'm using. So calling ourselves an empress because we need to recognize how important we are and how that aging is not a bad thing and that we are wise and that we can reclaim our sovereignty. And I tell people use it as a guide. It's a book that you could put in your purse or have on your nightstand. And people are telling me they're just opening the book and getting to a chapter and like that is the best part. I needed to hear that for that day. And that was the intention. And I used Reiki when I wrote the book, and the intention behind the book, it helped me create it, and that was one of them. Use it as a guide.
Mhm.
So I do recommend my book. I do recommend another book which I love. I forgot the name of it, but it's by Lisa Campion, who's been both our guests, who I adore. She has psychic Reiki books. She has some really good books on Reiki and psychic Reiki. So I love reading her stuff. She's practical. It's easy to read. I don't read anything complicated. But I do have a stack. Oh, and my latest book that I'm reading now is The Witching Stones by Nicholas Pearson, who I adore. And I know he's been on your podcast too.
Oh,
I just love, he's got like a million books and he also writes about Reiki. So if you're into Reiki, check out Nicholas Pearson. His books on crystals are amazing.
yeah.
And his Reiki books are so good too. He's good.
He's constantly writing.
Oh my gosh, he's amazing. Yeah. When you see people, I know we see a lot of people in our fields, and then those people are meant to do what they're meant to do. Like William Rand and Colleen and Robin, like they're put on this earth to do the work. Nicholas is like that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
As we are as well. But
Yeah.
they're like the big, some of the
Oh,
talking
yeah.
the big guns here,
Yeah. Like Justin B. Stein, right? You have
No,
all of those
Justin. Yeah.
together. Yeah. So you have those in the industry that it's like, wow, you found your purpose, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can also use your book as an oracle. I flip through it and, I have that royal invitation right
Yes.
there.
After each chapter, I write the royal invitations, just exercises, and they're all different. Each chapter has like a different kind of
Right.
vibe, like a new moon circle, or I have some crystals in there, some questions, and I have a lotus crown meditation connecting with the divine energy, uh, which I love that too. I did that a lot. That was one of the things I used to do on my healing journey is use that meditation or that visualization to connect with spirit and connect with my guides and get to know who they were or who they are,
Right.
I
Yeah.
should say. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys. I know you're all here, the team. Um, so yeah. So that was a good one. Thanks
Yeah.
for mentioning that.
And writing prompts as well. So if
Yeah.
writing is not your thing or journaling, maybe this is a way to help you with it, with the prompt.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's multifaceted.
Multifaceted. And also you brought up about the Reiki. I've had it as well where the Reiki with the writing. So people don't think of that like, wow, you can give Reiki to a piece that you're writing. I
Oh,
remember
absolutely.
one time I had held the Reiki News magazine and all of a sudden a flood of ideas came in. And I actually said out loud, really, we're doing this now?
When Reiki speaks, when Reiki speaks,
I
we listen.
sit down and start, and it just poured out of me. It
I
was like,
know. You
what?
know, I love these stories because we both teach new practitioners, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And one of the things I do when I teach people is I keep connected with them because they're like, oh, I don't know if I can still remember how to use Reiki. And you constantly have to remind them like Reiki is there. It's
yeah,
everywhere, right? Everywhere you turn. So I love hearing these stories because like we've lived it for many, many years, but we also teach others to, hey, trust it's there. You didn't forget how to use it. It's not gone. You have it, you know? And Reiki is so powerful. I have to say, one really story that I think may help inspire other people. But 2.5 years ago, I stopped drinking alcohol. It was because it wasn't jiving with me anymore. The work that you do is like, it's you start to get rid of things that are not good for you. But it was not easy because it was just part of my social thing. And I asked Reiki every day. Did Reiki on myself, like, please help me do it. Please help guide me. And I asked my guides and I asked Reiki. I did also energy work with qigong, specific movement, and I stopped and never have had a desire to go drinking again. Now, I'm not saying it works for everyone, but the intention is having that intention, using the tool and not giving up.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Consistent.
Consistent. Yeah.
So I know all the wonderful things that you do. So share with our listeners, what other services do you offer? Do you classes? Do you do events? Do you do trainings?
So I do trainings. Right now, I don't have a training up yet. Well, I have healing sessions on my website, but I put so much effort in the book this year. Right now, I'm just giving myself a little holiday space. My kids are coming home for the holidays as well, doing some marketing. But I am putting together a coaching program for Empress Rising. It's just it's like a 2-month, 8-session coaching. I don't want to use coaching. I'm using the word mentoring, which I like better. So that'll be up on my website soon. I'm working on doing that. And I would like to have more circles, more workshops that are free and available for people just to create community. In my book, I talk about community because I really never felt I had community until I started stepping into this work and meeting people like yourself, Tracy, and having other people around that are on this journey with us. So community is important because as women, we need to support other women. I never really had that. So I want other women to help other women come together on this Empress journey. So I'm looking to doing some things like that. And then next month, I'm doing a holiday reset with another friend I met on podcasting, Heather Eck. We're just doing a little holiday reset with some energy work, color work, and Reiki, all rolled up into one. So it'll all be on my website.
Beautiful. I love it. So where can we get in touch with you? If you want to connect, are you online, in person? Where can we find you?
Well, I'm almost everywhere, right? Just like you. So my website, rosewippich.com. You'll find everything about me there, including my socials. I have my podcast, Chat Off the Mat, which is still going strong, and I love doing it. Social media, Instagram, Facebook. I'm in all the places. I'm on LinkedIn, anywhere. And listen, I encourage anyone to just reach out, DM me, say hi, have a question, just reach out. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. And remember, award-winning podcast.
My award-winning podcaster, yes. Thank you. Thanks for mentioning that.
You have a newsletter?
I do have a newsletter, and I don't inundate your inbox. Thank you for reminding me. If you sign up for my newsletter, there is a little Empress energy assessment that you can take, and it's interactive, and it'll give you like a little score at the end, like where you are on your Empress journey. And yeah, my newsletters are not, they're infrequent, so I'm not hounding you in your mailbox because I don't like that being done to me either. So thank you for reminding me that we as someone who does a lot of this herself, and I don't have a VA.
Yeah.
I don't have a VA. I have myself. And so I try my best, and it's all I can do. But if anyone ever needs me, I am available.
Beautiful.
And yeah, thank you.
Well, that ends the first part of our journey. I'm going to continue to guide you to the next part, which are questions from listeners and Reiki students. So number 1, what inspired you to write Empress Rising?
So I woke up one morning laying in bed, and I said, I've started to think about my aging, and I started to get the image of the crone and the hag, which are images of a bent old woman stirring a cauldron, which I think is a beautiful image because it does signify the later years. But I'm like, you know what? That kind of doesn't go with my image. Not that I have an image. It's just like, I think we should be called empresses. And then all of a sudden, as soon as I said that word, like this portal started opening up and I was getting downloads of information. I got up and I just started handwriting all this stuff, like an empress does this and an empress this. And that's what inspired me. I think it's just that I wanted to create a movement of women feeling differently about themselves and knowing that your life isn't over after you retire or after your kids leave the nest or any big life change, that your life is gets better.
Yeah. Love that. And if someone's listening, if you feel like, oh, I could never ever write a book, don't say that. Be
That's
open
right.
to it, because just like it came to you, you also wrote articles, right?
Yes.
And that's how I started out. I started writing articles, and I wrote for a newspaper, and even like doing little quotes. I've been doing little quotes lately, and that can all build on something.
Yep.
And then you
Absolutely.
just get to a point. I remember I was on the plane to Sayulita, and it just came, this whole article. And I got off the plane and I met somebody, and she's like, well, what did you do on the plane? I said, I wrote an article. She's like, what? On the plane? And you never know where it's going to happen.
You never know. I was doing the same thing with my book.
Yeah,
I was on a plane too, and I just started downloading stuff. And I got another download for another book. It's more fiction that I
sure.
started that I think I'm gonna work on next year. But yeah, you just never know. Anybody can write a book or articles or an oracle card deck
Yeah,
even.
I mean, even it's a little easier now. Years ago, I'm talking like 2012, like it was a little harder to get things published and things and sending letters out. And even before that, like this is talking like 1993, 94, I was trying to get a book published, and you had to have a
Oh
literary
yeah.
and all this other stuff and all these hoops that you had to go through. And that I always tell people, listen, Jim Morrison tried to get his book published and he couldn't get it published, and he had to self-publish it.
Wow, he was a pioneer.
He was a pioneer, so he
Wow.
couldn't even get it.
That's a
They
good
thought it was
book.
a joke because it was a poetry book, and
Yeah.
he self-published it.
Didn't
So
know that.
okay, look at that.
And let me
So
tell you something, when you've self-published before. When you self-publish, you keep the rights of
you
your
own the
book.
rights to it. And like I have one that went through an agency or a publishing company, and they took my the royalties are so sad because they take out restocking fees and this fee and that
Yeah.
fee, and it's like you'll sell 20 books and I'm like, I made 40 cents. How
Yeah.
is this right?
Yes,
you
I
know
know.
so,
But yeah, it's just a lot easier for people to get their messaging out. I think it's
yeah,
great. But it's work. But if it's something I wanted to write a book forever. I was also a writer. I wanted to be a journalist growing up. So this is like all my whole thing now, podcasting. It's like I'm
yeah,
supposed to be
sure,
in this environment. And I was writing another book and it just wasn't going. And
yeah,
then this happened. I'm like,
yeah,
wow, this is happening.
yeah. Excellent. I love it. Number two, you teach women about establishing energetic boundaries. So, why are these boundaries
Yeah.
so critical, especially as we are in our Empress years?
Yeah. So, women do everything. We are taking care of others. We're taking care of seniors. We're driving people. Our energy is constantly being depleted. And, we have to think about energy as being like, I always refer to it as if we have an energy reservoir or bank of energy. And it's important to take care of that energy. As much as you let out that energy, you have to work on bringing that energy back in. And you do it with practices like qigong or reiki, moving stagnant energy in the body because lifestyle gets stuck, things get stuck, emotions. Um, so it's really important to take care of our energy and also not be around people who are not treating us well, we feel not comfortable around, and being really aware of that because that's important. Those energy vampires are real and not in a bad way where they're going to, come and hurt you, but energetically, yeah, they can hurt you. And it's important to also have energetic hygiene. I know we did a panel once, people talk about hygiene, right? So sweeping your energy or clearing out your aura regularly, daily even, so that your energy is good. It's your energy. There's something in Chinese medicine called the Wei Qi, and think about it as an energetic like suit of armor around you. And so if you don't want anybody to penetrate that armor, and that can mean just not just people, but also like diseases, you have to take care of it. You have to build, and we can do that with intention or with practices like qigong or yoga as well, and Reiki, obviously.
Right, right. And you mentioned in your book too about how you can kind of reset your circle. You might have to just change some things to look at the people who are supporting you or bringing you down. So the third question is, how can someone start creating these boundaries, and what can we do to strengthen them?
You mean with people?
Yeah, with the circles of people that we have.
Well, it's so if you find yourself interacting with somebody on a regular basis and you find that you're not feeling well after you do, whether it's just a talk or a walk or whatever it is, then you got to start pulling back. And like we said earlier, we worry about what other people have to say. You can't worry about what these other people think. Because if you're, let's say, taking a walk and 90% of the time with that person's talking about their problems and their thing. I mean, what's going on with you? I mean, you're getting drained, right? I mean, you're going to spend an hour walk draining your energy and you're going to feel worse. So, I mean, you don't and sometimes it's hard, and it's family that could be doing it. You just have to just give yourself the time to replenish and restore your energy if you can't get away from some of these people, or if you can kind of distance yourself from some people, then try to do that. I mean, I that happened to me, and this person actually on her own said, "I don't want to be your friend anymore," and ghosted me. And that was after I was trying to do my own thing. And, I was kind of putting a little distance, and then I felt so free. I was like, "Oh my god, I feel so good." I felt like I could breathe. So, yeah, and then you'll feel better. So be aware of when you feel a little energy zapped and, make small changes.
Yeah. And even if it's family too, sometimes just because they're blood doesn't mean they're the best fit for your life. I
Oh my
mean,
god, yeah.
society tends to put, especially if it's a mother or father, society puts it on you like, but it's your mom, right? Or it's your sibling. You have to get over it. It's like,
Right.
but if they're draining you and just negative and just this darkness, then you
Yeah.
have to make that decision. It's okay. So don't feel bad about it.
And you can also find ways to create that energetic shield if you can't leave them, or if you walk into a situation and you know they're there, create this energetic shield around you like a bubble so that they their interaction with you will change. I don't know if you've ever done that, but I always encourage people. They're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Rose, I'm going to go see my family this
Yep.
weekend and I can't get out of it." I'm like, "Okay, this
Yeah.
is what you do. Picture
Yeah.
yourself in a very strong bubble." And, and they told me they did that, and they're like, "Oh my gosh," they're like, "That made such a big difference." I'm like, "Yeah, it didn't cost you anything. You just it's there, you do it." And it's great. It's a great tool.
Yeah. Shields up.
Heals up, baby.
Well, that was our third question. As we've been talking, is there anything that you have forgotten or something you want to share with the listeners? The floor is yours.
Well, listen, if you are new to this Reiki journey, or you've been on this path for years, I think that you're making changes to the vibration of the world just even by being here and listening to Tracy and all the wonderful things that she does. I mean, it's all about living the best life that you have, because life is short. So let's live it the best we can. Let's raise the vibration of the universe. Let's send peace out to the universe, and try to make this all a better place to live. One day at a time, one person at a time.
Beautiful. I love that. Well, let us know again how we can get in touch with you.
Well, it's at rosewippich.com is my website, Rose, Wippich, and chat off the mat on socials. And if you forget all that, just get a hold of Tracy. She knows where to find me.
And your top fan club.
Yeah. And same here. I love her. She's the best.
But one day we're going to get in person. So
Yes.
know it.
Yes. One day we were going to do, I'm so funny. Earlier, I like set the intention. I'm like, okay, we have a retreat. I want to do a retreat with
Yeah.
Tracy. So
Yes.
the timing will be right and we will do it.
Out in the universe.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Rose, for joining me on this Ready, Set, Reiki journey. I appreciate you taking time out of your very busy schedule.
Thank you for allowing me to be here. Thank you so much, Tracy.
Beautiful. Wonderful. And check out Chat Off the Mat and get this book, right? I got
Thank
it
you.
like next day on
Thank you.
Amazon.
Thank you. Yeah, Amazon.
And write a review.
Yes, please write a review. That really helps.
Yeah,
I really want to get it's not about the royalties. It's about getting the message out there for me.
absolutely.
And if anybody else out there wants me to speak on the topic, I'd be more than happy to do that as well. So I'm
Beautiful.
here. Thank you.
All right, my wonderful listeners, if you like your question featured on the podcast, reach out, www.readysetreiki.com. Check it out on social media. I'm Tracy C. Wright, and this has been Ready, Set, Reiki.
Yeah.